Hi, and welcome to Studio SN. My name is Sara Naumann, and today we're going to play with water-soluble ink pencils. Derwent Inktense Pencils are a water-soluble ink pencil, and you may be thinking, ink and a pencil, how can that be in the same product? And I have to confess, I don't know the technical aspects of it. That will have to remain a mystery to me. But what I do know is they draw like a pencil, but when you add water, it becomes like an ink. And you can see on this card the two hearts I drew with the Inktense pencils. This stamping area in here has also been stamped with the Derwent Inktense pencils, all of which has been combined with water. So it creates really luscious, rich color, but at the same time gives a bit of a watercolor effect. Now, the other nice thing about the Inktense is that when this dries, it's permanent, so that you can go back and add other wet medium, which is very cool and which is also something that we'll do with this card. So let me show you how easy it is to do. First, I'm going to bring in my pencils and show you. I found these at my local art supply store a couple of weeks ago, and I'd heard people talking about them. I was so excited that I was finally able to find them because I really wanted to give a play with it. So I treated myself and I got the 24 pack, which has a beautiful range of colors. But you can see it looks just like a pencil. What I'm going to do is show you how easy it is to draw with this. They draw really, really nicely. And I'm going to bring in one of my heart patterns here. And this color is fuchsia. So I'm just going to trace around my heart pattern, with my fuchsia. And come around here. It really goes on nicely. And I'm using, and this is a cardstock, off-white cardstock. I'm going to come back. I want one heart to look like it's behind the other, so I'm going to put this one down on top and just trace like so. So it will look like I have some additional depth on my card front. Now, these hearts have been, my pattern method is to, remember back in grade school when you would fold a piece of paper in half and then draw one half of the heart, cut it out, and then unfold it? That's my method. But for those of you who may not like drawing your own hearts, I've got these as a pattern available on my website. So just visit saranaumann.com, and in the search box, just type in heart pattern, and you'll be able to download those. So I'm coming back again with my fuchsia, and I'm just adding a little bit more color, just a little bit of a heavier outline so that you can see it a little bit better. Now what I'm going to do is bring in a damp paintbrush. It's not sopping wet, but the reason I do that is because I figure I can always go back and add more water, but you kind of can't take it away, and I hate when it gets really soppy. So I'm just coming around and going on top of that, and you can see how beautifully that blends out. But the color is still really rich. It's still really, really vibrant. So I've got my two heart shapes outlined. And then I also want to come back and add a little bit more color in here. So I'm coming back with my sun yellow. And I'm going to go at an angle. So I'm not, straight down onto the paper. I'm going to come in at an angle and just kind of scrub this on lightly. Remember that these colors do become really vibrant when they coordinate with water. So I'm just going to come in here with a little bit of this yellow. And then I'm going to use a damp baby wipe, and you can use this to blend as well, and it really comes in handy if you don't have access to a cup full of water and a paintbrush. If maybe you're traveling and you want to work in your art journal, or you're I don't know, on the airplane or something. Maybe that's just me, but if you don't happen to have a cup of water and a paintbrush, a damp baby wipe will do the trick. But you can see I've just blended this out, and the color is vibrant, but it's also really soft and pretty. So I could leave this as is if I wanted to, but I want to come back and add a little bit of stamping. And the stamp set that I'm using is from Paper Artsy. This is the ESN 08, and I want to use the equal sign here. And this is the equal, but it's got a little bit of text on there in the background. So I have it on my clear acrylic block. I'm going to scoot this out of the way, and I'm going to come back again with my fuchsia pencil and a mister bottle of water. So I just need to hold this back a couple of inches and give a bit of a blast. Now I don't want it sopping wet, so I'm going to just tap it a little bit and then come back with my pencil again at an angle and put on a little bit of the fuchsia color. And then bring back my hearts and stamp this. And you can see that I get a really pretty, very subtle effect. I can come back again with a little bit more of my pencil. Again, give it a spray. You don't want to flood your stamp. That can be something that a lot of people do. They over flood it and then it becomes really gloppy. So you may want to practice with this technique a little bit and then add some more. So then I get some texture and dimension on here. Now again, I could stop right here. This looks really pretty as it is, but I also want to add a little bit more color. So I need to let this dry, and it won't take very long. As you can see, it doesn't take long at all. Now I let this one air dry, and it only took a couple of minutes because I'm not using a whole lot of water. There's not a whole lot to dry. I want to add a little bit more color to this, so I'm going to use from Clear Snap one of their sprays, and this is the Stephanie Bernard Banana color. It's a really nice yellow. And again, I'm going to hold this probably, I'd say about 8 inches away. And I'm coming at an angle. You can't really see this, but I'm coming at an angle with this so that I don't, blast the color right on top. And give a quick spritz. And this is just going to add another little bit of color and dimension to it. But because I'm using the Inktense pencils, the rest of the coloring on here won't reactivate in the water. So for you mixed media artists out there, this is really, really nice, especially if you're doing any kind of art journaling or anything where you want to add another wet medium on top of this. So let me bring back in my card and just show you a little bit more about how I put this together. I simply matted this onto green cardstock. I added a stamped masterpiece with black ink as a bit of a contrast. And I used sheer green ribbon because this still has a very translucent effect, and so I wanted that to coordinate. When I originally did the coloring on here, I was using a page from my sketchbook because I was practicing and didn't expect that I would have such great results the first time. So I tore this out of my sketchbook, and then I thought, I kind of like having this as part of the card. I think it adds another border, which is kind of interesting. So I really had a great time playing with these Inktense pencils. I'm glad I picked them up. And I'm really glad that I was able to show you a couple of techniques with stamping and drawing with these. So this is how to use Inktense pencils. I'm really glad that you had a chance to join me today. I hope you enjoyed the segment. For more inspiration, I invite you to please stop by my website at saranaumann.com. And I will see you again next time.